Welcome back. Let's get the latest transfer news now, with Newcastle overhauling their midfield heading into the new season. As you can see, Dharmesh Sheth joins me now. Dharmesh, everyone's talking about Bruno Guimarães being linked with that move to Arsenal. I suppose the question is, are Newcastle prepared to let him?
They told you about Arsenal signing Meslier as new backup goalkeeper. Let's see if Kepa is going to stay or if he's going to arrive as a third goalkeeper at Arsenal, but the deal is done. Meslier already did his medical. We have to follow the situation of Bruno Guimarães. Many of you asking me, it's true that there is an agreement already in principle on personal terms between Bruno Guimarães and Arsenal. Guys, I told you already in 2-3 videos, personal terms are never going to be a problem. Bruno is not a problem, the salary is not a problem, the desire of the player is to live in London, the desire of the player is to work with Mikel Arteta, the desire of the player is to play Champions League football. It depends on the clubs. It's on Newcastle now to decide whether to give the green light to the exit or not, and the conditions. Arsenal will try again. They want, they already raised good money this summer with Tonali, good money this summer with Anthony Gordon. And so guys, on this and much more, let me know your opinion as every single day.
Go.
In a word, no. Their stance has not changed throughout this transfer window. He is not for sale. They will not welcome any bids. However, it's been confirmed to us that the captain of Newcastle United, Bruno Guimarães, would welcome a move to Arsenal if Arsenal made a bid that was acceptable to Newcastle United. Listen, there's been no club-to-club contact, as far as we are aware, between Arsenal and Newcastle United over Bruno Guimarães. However, we do understand that Arsenal have explored the conditions of a deal via intermediaries. Listen, Newcastle United are not under any pressure here, simply because he's got a contract until 2028. They've got a one-year option on that contract into 2029 as well. But we know sometimes how these things work. If a player makes it clear he wants to go, then sometimes a move can materialise. However, it should be said here, we don't think that Bruno Guimarães is forcing it in any way. He's very respectful of Newcastle United, and it's only if Arsenal put up a bid that they may think we might not be able to refuse this deal. But as it stands at the moment, there has been no club-to-club contact, no bid, and Newcastle United simply are not welcoming any bids. As far as Arsenal are concerned, if I take you back to the Champions League final, when they lost to PSG in Budapest, Mikel Arteta's news conference after that, he basically said, I want to evolve this team, and he wants these transfers and Arsenal's transfer business to be done quickly and efficiently. And I think there's going to be a few ins and outs. If we just look at the midfield scenario at the moment, Christian Norgard, since joining from Brentford, has barely played. He could be a player who could be on his way out. You've got the likes of Leandro Trossard. We understand that there's been a deal agreed with Besiktas. Ethan Nwaneri, who was on loan at Marseille last season. What kind of future is he going to have? Because he looks like he's down the pecking order there at Arsenal at the moment. So there are a number of players in there that may have question marks over their future at the Emirates. And of course, Arsenal are looking at players to bring in to successfully, in their mind, defend that Premier League trophy.
Yeah, so question marks over the future of Bruno Guimarães. What about incomings at Newcastle? Because a big deal for another exciting central midfielder.
So whenever Newcastle United are interested in a player, I think their fans now are quite wary about where that particular deal is going to end up, because they have been burnt this summer's transfer window and last summer as well. But the player in question is a player who has been impressing during the World Cup for Switzerland, Johan Makambi. We understand that a verbal agreement is in place, or the framework of a deal is in place between Newcastle United and Freiburg, worth around £49 million. Personal terms not expected to be a problem. The player himself, though, does not want to deal with any kind of transfers until Switzerland's participation in the World Cup is over. And they've got the small matter of a World Cup quarter-final against Argentina in the early hours of Sunday morning. The reason I'm saying that Newcastle United and their fans will remain cautious is in this transfer window, they thought they'd signed Victor Munoz, only for Liverpool to nip in the last minute and sign the player himself. And if you look back to last summer, they were going for Benjamin Sesko, they were going for Hugo Ekitike as well. They didn't end up at St James's Park. Sesko ended up at Manchester United, Ekitike at Liverpool.
OK, elsewhere, Darmish, what about Manchester United looking to be busy this summer?
Yes, and we've been saying it throughout this transfer window. Midfield seems to be the priority. They could sign 2, maybe even 3 central midfielders. We do know that Casemiro has left the club. Manuel Ugarte, who we understand they would have listened to offers for, well, he suffered a really bad knee injury playing for Uruguay, so he could be out for the best part of a year, so he's not going to be going anywhere, and he's not going to be playing for Manchester United in that time, clearly because of that injury. But United are making moves in that central midfield area. Andre Santos is on the verge of joining from Chelsea. That deal is agreed. £48 million initial payment, £2 million performance-related add-ons. So a deal worth £50 million. He's been having a medical during this week. And so we expect that one to be completed sooner rather than later. Another player who's been having a medical as well is Ederson. That is ongoing at the moment, when we understand that there's still a bit of work to do before that £38 million move from Atalanta to Manchester United is confirmed. It doesn't end there, because they're looking at other players as well. Real Madrid's Aurelien Tchouameni, Bournemouth's Alex Scott, and Lille's Morocco international midfielder Ayoub Bouadi, who has impressed everyone, 18 years old, at this World Cup. And I think at the moment, the one bit of news that we do have is that Aurelien Tchouameni is still wanted by Jose Mourinho at Real Madrid, and he's expected to sign a new contract. But Andre Santos on his way, Ederson pending, and there could be yet another midfielder coming in at United as well.